One of the most difficult things of learning English is mastering the correct pronunciation of words. And now I'm not talking about losing your accent, because depending on how old you are when you start learning English, you might never be able to lose your accent. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can and should learn to pronounce things correctly, because even though you might have an accent, if you pronounce something incorrectly, it can be the difference between being understood or not being understood. So today I'm going to share some tips with you to help you pronounce your pronunciation in English. The first tip is to speak slowly and exaggerate. Sometimes when I'm speaking Portuguese, I try and sound like a native speaker, so I try and speak a little faster. And a lot of times what happens is I end up mispronouncing words, and then I have to repeat what I said and say things more slowly. So learn from my mistakes. If there are difficult words, pronounce them slowly. Exaggerate everything you're going to say. You might feel a little silly when you do this, but it will help you from slurring your speech, and it will help you build good pronunciation habits. The next tip is to watch out for difficult sounds. In English, there are some sounds that are more difficult to pronounce than others. So pay attention to the sounds that give you a difficult time and spend a little more time practicing those sounds in particular. So for example, there are two sounds that I know for sure give a lot of Brazilian difficulty when they're speaking English. And that's the TH sound and the hard R sound, like an entrepreneur. So if you have difficulty with those sounds, practice them. Give them some extra attention. And one tip for pronouncing the hard R sound is to pretend you're speaking with a caipira accent. So imagine somebody who says Barta, carne, verde, and mimic that hard R sound in English. Now this might seem a little bit obvious, but this one is to pay attention when listening. So there are sounds that exist in English that don't exist in Portuguese, and vice versa. So when you're speaking English, if that's your second language, there might be some words that will require you to use your mouth, throat, or tongue in ways that you're unfamiliar with. So for this reason, it is always a good idea to pay close attention to native speakers when they're speaking and how they move their mouths to make the sounds in English. So watch them, imitate them, and try and make the same sounds. Next tip is to record yourself. I know this might be a little embarrassing. Maybe you don't like the sound of your own voice, but the fact is that recording yourself is a great way to improve your pronunciation. One good idea might be to listen to a recording or some kind of audio of a native speaker speaking, and then record yourself saying the same things to compare your pronunciation with the pronunciation of a native speaker. And my last tip for you to work on your pronunciation is to use Google. Google is a great tool, and if you go onto Google search bar and you type pronunciation and then the word you want to pronounce, Google will give you a phonetic spelling of the word along with a little audio of the word being pronounced. And you can listen to it in an American and British accent, and even listen to the word slowed down. So that is a great tool for you if you want to work on your pronunciation. So those were some tips for you to work on your pronunciation. I hope you found them useful. Let me know, are there any of those tactics that you already use in your English studies? And what words give you a lot of difficulty to pronounce? Let us know in the comments.